Years after the Great War, a rebuilt Cybertron is once again a populous, thriving planet. Among its inhabitants is Lieutenant Bumblebee, now on street patrol duty, and his new cadet Strongarm. While Strongarm is slightly awed at getting to work with the great hero Bumblebee, she's surprised that he didn't get a better position than Street Cop. The duo receives an alert about an in-progress 211. They find Sideswipe driving around the statues of Khan Plaza, scratching up the ground. While Bumblebee is in the middle of telling his partner that Sideswipe's not actually dangerous, he's suddenly distracted by a vision of Optimus Prime and reflecting pool. Strongarm leaves him to his vision and heads off to deal with Sideswipe, and Optimus points Bumblebee to a diagram on a nearby building, indicating something to do with Earth. After an abortive attempt to stop Sideswipe, Strongarm manages to bash the renegade Autobot into the statue of Optimus Prime, and then slaps the cuffs on him. But to her horror, the damaged statue topples over, almost crushing Bumblebee. Snapped out of his trance, Bumblebee orders Strongarm to take the perp to the station while he heads towards the building Optimus pointed to. On Earth, Denny Clay is moving a train car around his scrapyard when his son, Russell Clay, arrives to stay while his mother's in Copenhagen. Russell is less than enthusiastic about this arrangement, but Denny shows off the 14th Street Diner, which he's recently had moved to the yard. Their discussion is interrupted by a loud boom from somewhere. Not far away in the woods, Fix-It crawls from the shattered hulk of the prison ship Alchemor. On Cybertron, Bumblebee enters the Cybertron History Museum and pokes around the back rooms, where he finds a space bridge with Earth coordinates already input. Optimus speaks to him in another vision, telling him he's needed on Earth. In the middle of the vision, Bumblebee is found by Strongarm, who's followed him there as per regulation, which means she has to accompany him at all times. Naturally, she also still has Sideswipe handcuffed to her, and after Bumblebee explains he's received a mission from Optimus, he tells Strongarm to try to get the space bridge working while he distracts the guards. A news report about a meteor piques Denny's interest, and he suggests he and Russell go look for it, though first Denny has to talk to a man who wants to sell him some Billy the Breakfast Beaver figures. Russell opts to go look for the meteor instead of helping with the deal. At the crash site, Fix-It attempts to send a mayday to Cybertron Control, reporting that he's lost most of the stasis cells the ship was carrying. Bumblebee manages to distract the museum guards for a brief time until they catch on to the fact that he's up to something. He's forced to deal with the pair, disabling them just as Sideswipe gets the bridge working. Ordering Strongarm to remain behind, Bumblebee charges through the open space bridge to Earth. Naturally, Strongarm follows him with Sideswipe still cuffed to her, and though Bumblebee destroys the cuffs and orders Sideswipe to return to Cybertron, the punk runs off. Wandering through the woods elsewhere, Russell completely misses a set of giant footprints. Bumblebee and Strongarm find Fix-It working on the wreckage of his ship, and he explains the situation with the missing prisoners. As the tracking systems come back online, Fix-It detects a nearby Cybertronian signal. Figuring it's Sideswipe, Bumblebee and Strongarm head off to recapture the rogue Autobot. Sideswipe is testing out the acoustics in a nearby rock formation when he bumps into Russell. They're both recovering from the shock when Underbite strolls up. Sideswipe introduces himself, but is none the wiser when Underbite reveals his name, though Underbite clarifies that he's the Decepticon who ate Nuance City. Sideswipe and Russell run for it, and Underbite consumes a nearby derelict van for energy. The fleeing pair find a clearing where Sideswipe transforms. As Underbite catches up with them, Sideswipe's able to speed off with Russell, and eventually finds Bumblebee and Strongarm. The Decepticon chases all four of them back to the crash site, where Fix-It and Russell hid behind the last intact stasis cell, shortly before Grimlock pokes his head out of the end of it. After Underbite knocks the Autobots aside, Grimlock manages to goad Underbite into wrecking the stasis cell he's trapped in, freeing him. This only keeps Underbite busy for a short time, and the Decepticon spots the scrapyard through the trees, driving off to investigate. As the Autobots recover from the fight, Fix-It tells them that Underbite is a chompozoid and gains power by eating metal. The Autobots realize that the scrapyard has enough material to make the Decepticon unstoppable. Bumblebee prevents Russell from pursuing Underbite, insisting it's too dangerous, but Sideswipe points out the incoming Grimlock, who transforms to Dino mode. Though Bumblebee's braced to fight Grimlock off, the Dinobot simply sniffs at them and then dashes off into the woods after Underbite. Telling the others to stay put, Bumblebee gives pursuit. However, when Russell runs off as well, Strongarm uses it as an excuse to follow suit. Also, Fix-It's jabbering results in Sideswipe going after them. Grimlock intercepts Underbite at the scrapyard and the pair begin grappling. Though Underbite suggests that they're on the same side and therefore don't need to fight, Grimlock disagrees and they continue to toss each other around, while an oblivious Denny Clay puts away the Billy the Breakfast Beaver statues he's bought. Bumblebee arrives and prepares to subtly intervene. However, the element of surprise is spoiled by the arrival of the rest of his team, who died straight in. After tossing Grimlock aside, Underbite starts showing on the beaver statues until Strongarm manages to attract his attention. Sideswipe and Russell find Denny in the old diner, and Russell points his dad to the Autobots and Decepticon rapidly bearing down on them. Grimlock jumps on Underbite and begins punching him repeatedly. While the Decepticon is thus busy, Bumblebee suggests Denny take his son somewhere safe and complains about his team not following orders. Underbite again manages to get the better of Grimlock and begins showing down on the junk. However, he soon spots Crown City in the distance and immediately sets out for it. With the Autobots gathering themselves together, Grimlock again springs to his feet, only to find his foe has gone. Realizing where Underbite is headed, Bumblebee prepares to give chase, and the others insist on going too. Strongarm scans a new vehicle mode on Bumblebee's insistence that they maintain a low profile. Fixit also arrives with the news that he's got a single stasis cell back online, and some capture devices which he distributes to the team. Bumblebee, Strongarm, Denny, and Grimlock soon roll out, leading Sideswipe to take care of Russell. Dragging along, Underbite is slowly weakening from the lack of sustenance, organic material being unsuitable for him to consume. Meanwhile, Sideswipe finally finds a car to scan, and Russell has the idea to take along the rest of the beaver statues. The rest of the team has already caught up with Underbite at the bridge to Crown City and start using Fixit's capture tools on him. However, the tools swiftly fail. They attempt to block Underbite's way, though a fight proves unnecessary as Sideswipe arrives and lures Underbite away with a trailer load of beaver statues. They lead the Decepticon to the edge of the quarry, and the team starts trying to push Underbite over the edge. Unfortunately, when Sideswipe joins in, it allows Underbite to grab some statues from the Autobots' trailer and powers himself up. Tossed aside, the Autobots can only watch in alarm as Underbite picks up Denny's truck and begins crushing it. At which point Optimus Prime suddenly grabs Underbite and tosses him into the quarry. After revealing that Denny is fine, Optimus admits he's not quite sure whether he's alive or not. After complimenting the team Bumblebee has put together, Optimus gives a stirring speech and tells them he does not know what fate has in store for him before dematerializing. Sometime later, Underbite is resecured in the working stasis cell as the Autobots move the equipment salvaged from the Alchemer Inn to the scrapyard. Grimlock's concerned that they'll put him back into a stasis cell too, but Bumblebee instead puts him on probation. The inevitable team squabbling begins.